It's Monday, cocksuckers, and you better come prepared because they don't fuck around on Monday. Monday, most people come in, I had such a great weekend. Oh my God, go fuck yourself. That was then, this is now, bitch. It's a whole new set of rules. It's Monday. If you ain't waking up with the taste of blood in your fucking mouth like a shark 5 feet from the shore, you fucked up. You understand? Because Monday is when you go, everybody else is like, still the weekend, you fucking up.
Hey, what is going on, everybody? It is actually almost the end of freaking June, man. What the
already?
hell? How did we get here? It's another Monday, though. And bigger and better than that.
We got here. That's all that matters.
Okay. And bigger and better than that, the band is here. Talent is here. Amir is here.
It seems like forever, right?
It's been a minute
it's 3
since we
weeks
had
in a row.
the opportunities, where we, haven't had the opportunity to really get back and pour into you guys like the way y'all pour into us. For all y'all know, and this is, just insider secret, all the wonderful things that you share with us are actually what helps us get ready for what we're going to do the following Monday. And it's all the wonderful stories. It's all the beautiful events that we have to attend with one another and around each other. But bigger than that and better than that is this Motivational Monday. So I hope all of y'all are out here doing extremely well. I hope for those of y'all who are kicking off your summer's starting off with a bang. You're enjoying yourself, you're barbecuing, you're spending time with the family, and you're in the headspace and energy you need to be in because it's that time of year. But as always, you know how we start this off. We started off by talking about how the weekend was and what it looked like for each one of us. I don't know if T wants me to go first, so I could go first today, or if he wants to go first. But let me tell y'all, it was a phenomenal weekend. And I'm going to tell you why. First off, on Friday evening, I had the pleasure and the honor to represent my family at a memorial service for my preschool principal. Her name was Dr. Clara Skippy Burgess. I bring this into the conversation because you talk about motivational stuff. This particular memorial service is probably one of the nicest memorial services I've ever been to and seen in my life. The body wasn't there. It was just the friends and family. But more importantly, she's an AKA. So it was her sorority sisters. And Dr. Burgess was 92 years old. So to be there in the room and to hear the stories from all these amazing women who were saying things like, she pledged me in 52. I'm 54 years old, so y'all do the math. That's going to help y'all blow your mind. Like, I wasn't even a thought when these ladies were, pledging and becoming a part of their sororities and stuff like that. So that was the kickoff for the weekend, which was phenomenal. Saturday, I followed that up. A friend of mine and his family came up because their nephew graduated from high school, and this was like my second family. As a matter of fact, they were the first family that kind of allowed me to get out of the hood. They took us to the Poconos, or took me to the Poconos. I had never been there. So to get to the Poconos and to stay in the cabins and to see the pool and all that stuff, I grew up in the project. So I was like, son, this is everything. So their family came up and they had a big brunch at Amy Roof's. So I went to Amy Roof's, saw his mom, saw his siblings. I hadn't seen them in quite a few years. So it was just great to catch up with them. And then I followed it up with one of the dopest send-offs I've seen in a while. Two of my boys, Ted Crawford and my boy Andrew Little, who both work for UPS. They both retiring, 30 years in the game. And they had a beautiful send-off way down in the city on the west side. So just a phenomenal weekend. And all of that was inspiring to me because the principal herself, like I said, all the amazing things that she had done and the way she had helped our community was incredible. Followed by, like I said, having an opportunity to spend time with my family. Is, T, I don't know about you, but it's always fun when you get around cats that you grew up with and maybe the kids don't really know you, but they introduce you and be like, this is Uncle Talent. And the kids be looking like, he ain't never been to the family reunion. Look, I told you this Uncle Talent. Don't be asking questions.
Right.
So it was fun to see and be that. And then, like I said, to follow up my two boys, Ted and Drew, who, like I said, are incredible human beings who, finally are able to retire from UPS. All of it was inspiring to me. And that's what Motivational Monday is about, finding the things that inspire you to be the best you and to be the greatest version of you could be. How was your weekend?
Well, that's a lot, man. You had a good time. That's what I'm talking about. You hit all the corners, of a good weekend in the makings of. My joint was dope, bro. I had what I call if you could call it like a short version of a weekend, meaning, um, my weekend was Saturday and Sunday. You know what I mean? Friday I had time to do something different, personal, family wise, and then Saturday we had to perform in Maryland at the Goobies Comedy Club, which was fantastic. Shout out to the guys down there. Ray Diva was on the show with me. Timmy Hall was on the show with me. Brother named Tommy was hosting it. You got this thing called Almost Ladies Night. You know what I'm saying? So I had a good time. That show was beautiful. People bought merch. They hung out, got to kick it. Some people I ain't seen in a while. And then only to get up the next day, turn around, head back north to Jersey, to the Stress Factory in New Brunswick, which, let me break this down, how humbled and grateful I am at the same time. I didn't realize we did 7 shows in a 2-month span at Stress Factory. In a 2-month span, 7 shows, bro. Like, normally what happens is people that never been, we host a show there. It's called Sunday Night Live. The last Sunday of the month we do it. Now, we do have exceptions to the rule with our holidays. Christmas time might be off, whatever random Wednesday we pick. Mother's Day and Father's Day, it's in the middle of the month usually, so we got to do that. We double up on the shows. And this is what was humbling to me. And it makes me very grateful to have a fan base that like what we do, that like the quality entertainment we put out there. It started the last Sunday of April. 2 weeks later, 2.5 weeks later is Mother's Day. Now we do 2 shows. That's 3. 2.5 weeks later is Memorial Sunday. We do another show. That's 4. 2.5 weeks later is Father's Day. We do 2 shows. That's 6. So last night, which is only 1 week behind, we just did Father's Day last Sunday, Juneteenth and all that. So only 1 week after that, we're back in there with our traditional day, right? Now, my whole time in my mind frame, I done geeks myself up like, you know what? We had some banging ass shows, some big crowds at all the shows. I'm grateful for them 6. This is just, how rappers put out a garbage album just to make the contract quota and shit. You got to do 10 albums. You had number 9. Let me put this trash out here and get off the contract, right? So I had chalked it up to like, I guess like you could say a loss or a light crowd or whatever. Mm-hmm. And still over 100 people came out to be in the building and laugh. So that was very humbling. 7 shows in that place in that short period of time. And for the people to come out and support the way they did was a super duper humbling experience. And I want to say thank you to all the folks. I don't care which show you came to, if 1, if 2, if 3, 4, 5, it don't matter. You are greatly appreciated whenever you come to a talent production. So on behalf of me, my boy Power, the Stress Factory Comedy Club, Tommy Too Smooth, and DJ Jazz, thank you for the continued support. It's 16 years straight. I talked to my girl Michelle today, and Michelle was like, "Damn, how long y'all been at since 16 years?" She said, "Man, niggas can't hold the mic 16 minutes." You know what I mean? 16 years. She's like, so be grateful for that. Welcome everybody that's just tuning in. You're looking at Amir Silly, co-host, along with Talon Harris. Our third co-host will be joining us shortly, running a little late. This is Sean Harvey from the Sean Harvey Morning Show. But let's get right into it. Motivation Monday, people. First thing I want to bring up is this is what I was going to talk about weeks ago, and then the family got in the way. Family shit. It was a funeral that day. So the last Monday, which was 3 Mondays ago, I was supposed to be on. I had one of my close cousins pass away. Now, the funeral ended up being on a Monday morning, kind of early. So I figured in my mind, there's going to be a funeral, maybe a little repast. I could get back to that house and get set up for 6 o'clock, to do our show. Man, the repast was a delayed repast because my cousin had lived her last years for a certain amount of years in Newburgh. So they came down here, out of respect for the fam, did the service, drove the body to the burial back up in Newburgh, which is over an hour away. So now to and fro and the shenanigans you got to do when you put them on the ground, that's 4 hours, almost a 4 hour in between window. I'm like, oh shit, now it's bleeding into my time, right? So my cousin, who's a councilman here in Mount Vernon, he says, you know what? Let's just go down the block to my crib, you know, and while they go through that, we'll kill time. So, all right, cool. So I said, you know what? Even better, I'll do that. And then by the time they ready, I'll show my face and then go to my show. None of that shit happened. Went to his crib, got there, and then I think what happened with me, I got nostalgic because one of my daughters came and she was kind of like on the hip that day. You know what I mean? I wasn't about to, you know, barely, we don't see each other enough because I'm cool and all that shit. So I was kind of getting caught up in the family and end up staying and we end up doing what you technically 3 back-to-back repasses. We went to my cousin's house first for 4 hours. We went to the original one. Guess what? I get there, Amir, and I'm sitting there. I said, you know what? Let me stop and get a bunch of liquor. You know what I mean? Because we have it in like a lodge hall. And I stop, I get the liquor. I come in the place, we setting the coolers up, the beers, the ice. And I look around, and I'm like, well, who's going to play music? Who's this DJ? Everybody's like, don't know what the hell I'm talking. You know, DJ, you know. I said, come on, this is a black-ass repack. You got to have something playing in the background. I said, give me 15 minutes, shot home, cut some equipment, came back, put a speaker up. Now so now I'm DJing and I'm bartending at my cousin's repack. Now, the reason I bring this up is because I wanted to talk about it because my family is a double-edged sword to me. Because I value family so much over everything that sometimes it could be my kryptonite and sometimes it could be my salvation. I'm gonna say that again. The way I value my family is a double-edged sword. Sometimes it could be my savior and salvation, and sometimes it's my weak kryptonite where I'll do something that's way out of my character that I know may be detrimental to me or the wrong answer or the wrong thing to do, but because of sake of family. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm sitting in the service and I'm taking it all in. And what I'm gathering is how, believe it or not, even though I didn't make the show that day, I was super motivated. Like I could tell by when I left the church and we had to go, and I'm go grab this and go grab. Nobody asked me to do that shit. Nobody expected me to do it. It was just something you should have do and get it out of the way so we don't. Another thing we don't have to worry about on this day. What you don't want is my other cousin, because she left behind, is still one more sister and brother left. And then it's their kids, and what I mean, it's a big family. So I bring that up because are you that type of person? And ask yourself out there too. Are you that type of person that a funeral can be motivating to you? Like, because family motivates me. And what happens when you have a death in the family? They come from all over. Yeah. So that cousin you don't see every year, you're gonna see him now and his sisters. You see his kids growing up and blah blah. It brings obviously it's a bad reason why everybody's together. None of us wish that on anybody. However, inadvertently it does that. And before you know it, bro, I go from a heavy heart crying in the service to, like I said, pouring drinks, watching people smile and laugh and bringing up memories and all that, and listen to good music and stuff like that. So that's what I want people to look inside themselves and see, what does a funeral do for you? Like, be honest.
Well, it's so funny. It's a double-edged sword for me. With the passing of, my brother and my father, because those are, two people who I was obviously very close to, it used to be heavy for me. But as I've gotten older, and I realize in theory, we are celebrating the life of the person whom we've lost. It becomes more about that to me now as I've gotten older. That's why I, mentioned earlier about the memorial service that I had gone to over the weekend. When I say it was uplifting and put me in such a great energy and great space, and more so because of legacy. Like some of the ladies that were there, at least 4 women got up and said, I'm now an AKA because my mother was an AKA, based off of Dr. Burgess having pledged or brought their mother into the sorority. So now the daughters, and I realize that sometimes we don't think about legacy. We don't think about the impact that we have on not only, the people who are closest to us, but the world on a grander scale. And that really just comes from, to what you just said, finding ways to be of service. We have forgotten how imperative and how important that one piece of and vital it is for anything and everything that you do in this world is being of service. And it could be the simplest thing or it could be the most complicated thing. It just depends on what the moment calls for. So I feel like now funeral services are more, have become more of a lean on and a celebratory thing in my eyes, because like I said, I'm looking at somebody who usually people get up there and they say, these are the things that I remember about this person and what I hold near and dear to me. And I think that once you kind of feel the energy of that, the sadness sort of dissipates to some degree, because now you're thinking to yourself like, wow, you know what I mean? Like this person seemingly had the opportunity to do that for that person, but they also seem to have been doing it for me. So now I'm like, well, how much hours in the day did this person have? They was doing it for everybody. Not that you don't think that yours is special anymore, but you realize that this person's reach has been pretty amazing. You know what I mean? So for me, I'm like you. It's become a more of an uplifting thing. But I really do, take the time to listen and drink in what people have done and how they've been of service, and then, try to sometimes either model or pattern some of those, things.
Well, I like that. I definitely like that. Welcome to the show. Your third co-host has made it in. He was late.
Yes, sir.
He was getting waxed.
Yeah.
He was getting a Brazilian bikini wax. Because I heard he's going. Sean Harvey, ladies and gentlemen. What up, Sean?
Yo,
What's going
what's
on,
up?
Sean?
No, I was actually getting my knees rubbed with this arthritis in them with some old school Bengay. Hey, listen, Motivational Monday. Good to see my two kings, man. I wish you guys are having a great afternoon and a great day and a productive day. And, you talk about funerals and man, I was just listening and it just hits home because, like funerals are like grief. Grief is like a natural a progression. Sometimes like you get sudden death, you're shocked, and you're involved in sudden death, and it's shock and it's unbelievable. And then there's natural death, where when someone passes away, you're bracing for it and you're ready for it. I think funerals the same way in a sense. Like I don't know about I don't know about you guys, but for me, when our loved ones or someone that we knew passed away, and we were young and we were kids, we couldn't understand it because our brains wasn't developed like that. You know what I mean? Like we knew that something was wrong. We knew that someone passed away, and we were sort of more going towards the following of how our loved ones as adults felt, comparison to what our true feelings was, depending on who the person who passed away and how old we were. And then it went to, yes, people die and people have funerals, and we're upset about it. And then it goes to this to what the point that both you guys are making. It really is, to me, like it's a celebration of life. I've been to some funerals where it was a straight up party. Like we had a ball, after party, and it was celebrating life. And yes, you did have that feeling like, man, it's such a motivating situation, this funeral, where you take personal inventory of yourself and say, man, listen, I'm grateful this person was in my life. I feel good about it. Now, listen, fellas, I've been to some funerals, nobody showed up, just a few people.
Really?
Yeah, because of the way the person was living. I've been to some joints where it was only about, 10 people, real light. Nobody had nothing to say. I've been in those. I've been there. I've seen that. So sometimes funerals is the barometer of the way we live sometimes. I'm telling you.
Well, not even sometimes. That's pretty much all the time. Now, I'm a piggyback on that and segue to the next thing by saying that overall, inadvertently, in a weird way, funerals have become blessings in the one manner of, because so many things can happen. Let's say a guy dies of a heart attack. He's your age. You went to school with him. You start checking your heart.
Yeah.
Right? Let's say a nigga blood pressure. You start checking your blood pressure. You know what I'm saying? He died of AIDS. You put on a condom. Like, so in essence, the funeral can become a blessing inadvertently in so many weird ways. And the biggest way, obviously, is bringing loved ones together that may otherwise not got to see each other or been together. And it could be, I've seen it so many times where it's a wake-up call. Parts of my segments of my family brand have done that over the years. Like, yo, man, we got to keep better touch. And we do. Like the brother of this cousin that passed away, we said that at his other brother's funeral a couple of years ago. And every fucking morning, me and him, good morning. He's North Carolina. Virginia, here, we talk every damn day. So speaking of blessings, I'm going to segue into blessings because we say a lot of cliche shit in our life. And I don't think we really weigh it in. We just say it because people say it. You know what I mean? Like, you know, count your blessings. Yo, blessings, king. No blessings upon you, queen. Blah, blah, blah. But we just saying it because it goes good in the sentence. But here's the thing about blessings is this. This is what I noticed about people in blessings. Half the motherfuckers that are blessed see the blessings like the forest through the trees. Think about that shit. Half the people, blessings, can you recognize? Ask yourself that. Because all I see is more people complaining than enjoying. I see niggas complaining through life and forget to live life. Well, I gotta do this. You do that shit every fucking day, every fucking week, every fucking month of the year. You ain't live this shit. You spent your whole year gotta doing all these things, everything but living. Now, blessings, like I said, can you recognize all your blessings? You know why that phrase was made? No matter how bad it gets, you can always be doing worse. There's out there somebody worse than you, right there. That in itself is a fucking blessing, bro.
Yeah. I agree.
I'm saying I ain't got no money, blah, blah, blah. They robbed me at the corner. I went to get a big nigga cheese, nigga pistol with me, took my money. I'm fucked up this week. I ain't got no money. Guess what? He didn't shoot you with the pistol.
Right.
He didn't kill you. Secondly, you talking to me on your cell phone from back in your house. You got a roof over your head. Communication. You're able to process this and move on from this. So that's what they mean by it. Always could have been worse. It could have been a motherfucker with nothing to lose or a few scruples loose and just bond for the shit of it and didn't even take the $2 out your pocket. He just didn't like the way you swag and in his mind you're the devil, whatever it is. So blessings. Ask yourself, showing you up first. Do you see your blessings or do you see them after the fact? A lot of people see them after the fact.
Yo, I see my blessings immediately. And, it goes back to the term there, but for the grace of God. Sometimes we have to take a moment. It's a moment. You have to take a moment. And I used the term just a minute ago, personal inventory. Sometimes you got to take a moment in the here and now, and see what's around you and recognize your blessings. You talked about that hamster wheel, that repetition, that just every day. And that's true. But some of us, all of us, need to just take one moment out of the busiest day that we have, if you're not doing nothing, and see what's around us, see the blessings. I see it all the time. I see my blessings all the time. Okay, maybe maybe there's a few times I don't because I'm running around, but I do take those moments. I do see what it is. And you're right, there, but for the grace of God, it could somebody else has it worse. You don't know what the world is going through. And if you can get up in the morning and have a productive day and help individuals and just do the right thing throughout the day, I'm not saying everybody's perfect, you will see your blessings. You will see your blessings in the way you conduct your life. Yeah, I see my blessings all the time. And it takes just all of us to open up our book, that story that we live, and go back through the pages. You can see the blessings immediately.
What about you, Amir?
I'll tell you one thing. Half of us shouldn't even be here. We shouldn't even be here about some of the reckless behavior that we've done in the past. You just that alone, you take a look at that and go, man, I'm truly blessed.
Yeah. No, Amir? It's so funny. I do. But the funny thing is, I try to tell people this because, to your point, people sometimes like you said, they say they see their blessings after the fact, as Sean just pointed out. But in all fairness, you're supposed to set the tone. There are two things that people can and hopefully will start to do so that you set the tone. before you go to bed at night, one, be thankful for all of the things that you've already experienced in the day that you just are leaving. So that means whatever wonderful things have happened. Today I found $5. Today I was able to give somebody a seat on the train, or today I was able to help somebody carry a bag or help somebody across the street. Be thankful for that. The second thing that you do is then, in all fairness, set what the tone is going to be for tomorrow by going to sleep and the mind frame and mindset of saying, tomorrow I'm looking for these amazing things, or I'm hoping for these amazing things to be a part of my experience. A lot of what we are experiencing are based off of, to something that you said, Talent, how we set the tone by what we say and the things that we think. And people don't realize that that's the most important part of your blessings, is you saying the things that you hope to and or want to see materialize in your life. Too many people are running around with the I ain't, this didn't, why not me. Those are all negative words and negative energy. Your job is to put out the most positive format of yourself and your thoughts, so that this way those things come back to you and they manifest themselves for what it is you're trying to do. So I think that a lot of people have to really get better at saying things that are speaking life, or speaking, positive and wonderful things into existence, versus what you said, Talent, where they're regurgitating the negative that may have happened, not understanding that the more you harp on that, the more you talk about it, all you do is keep that revolving in and around you.
And
So
I'm
get
gonna
rid of
tell you
that.
right now, talk about negative, because sometimes negative can be a positive. But when we talk about blessings, Alfreda said in the comments, she said, I count my blessings every day. And I do too. And I do it out loud, talking to the Most High. The first thing I do when I get up and I get my consciousness together, and I'm like, thank you, Lord. It might be my step number 4, step number 5. Sometimes I'm just leaned over, sitting on the couch, whatever. But I thank that blessing to get up. Okay, I got another shot, another day to try to do right and get it done, whatever it is. God has blessed me to be here another day. And here's the thing. We got to do a better job at looking out for blessings, because I think that we're so conditioned for things to go a certain way. That's the only way we know. You gotta start getting comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that again. You gotta start getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. Everything ain't the traditional 1, 2, 3 ABC way they taught us. So meaning a negative could be a positive blessing for somebody. You see sister, she's depressed because a man just left her, blah, blah. Oh, I don't know what I'm going to do. I love him so much. That man beat your ass every day, like clockwork. Knocked you, a couple of concussions, knocked you out, or whatever the case may be. God did a favor removing him. I don't know how he removed him, but him being removed from you was a favor. A lot of us been in relationships where we look back, and for whatever happened while it ended, we like, yo, dodged the bullet. You know what I mean? You look at something, how many times you guys can look in your past, somebody you dealt with, and now you fast forward 5 years, 8 years, 10 years, and you like, damn.
Yeah.
She ended up being a fucking bum. I dodged a bullet. Like, damn. When you see she did something to somebody else, and like that could have been, that was gonna be me. I was the motherfucker in front of the target. She was gonna fucking bullseye my ass. You know what I mean? So, and I know I'm joking around with the relationship part, but things in life that you lose this job. As soon as we're so conditioned that everything means this one thing. A motherfucker lose a job, be ready to kill himself, bro.
Yeah.
2 weeks later, he got a better job.
Yeah.
He got way more benefit package. He got 401k. But he couldn't see the forest through the trees. All he could focus on was, they fucking let me go. I just got fired. So that's all we know. We know the way that they taught us. It's embedded. It's brainwashed. It's conditioning. We're to the point where we're like robots, to be honest with you. We just react. All of us react the same way, which shouldn't be the case. We shouldn't all react the same way. But think about society. We react to certain things the same way. Yes. Right? You're in a movie and a certain part comes, the whole movie in unison. Whoa. Hey. Yeah. Because we're fucking robotic when it comes to things like we only know that way. So the other train of thought is like perfect example. Sean and I at Dress Factory last. And as a host, one thing I do like about hosting is it's not cut and dry and that simple. Sometimes I'll come in the building, I got a plan. I always like to use Peyton Manning as a reference because he was the best at it to call an audible at the line of scrimmage. So sometimes I come in the building, I got a plan. But I get to the line of scrimmage and something happens in the middle of the game or the beginning of the game where I got to do an on-the-spot audible and change some shit up and blah, blah, blah. And it works out. But it only worked out because I was open to trying another way. If I would have forced the way that I had originally, that's, you know what that is? He said it himself. Sean said self-inventory. That's mental self-inventory of I'm not always right either.
Yes.
Because I thought this, and I got it and said, oh, it ain't gonna work. And I went back and did shuffle some up and came up with another thing. It's like a chef in the kitchen. That nigga tastes so good. Too much basil.
Right.
Yeah.
And he changed the recipe.
You know, it's a great feeling. It's a tremendous feeling when you can recognize your blessings, to go back to that, and you can recognize that, yes, if you go through some adversity in life, that's why we have, like you said, talent, like our higher powers, whoever that higher power is to you, where you have that connection that's bigger than yourself, how you have friends and family in your life that helps you with securing your blessings and the train of thought. You know, they say birds of a feather flock together.
Yeah.
Tell me who you hang out with, and I'll tell you who you are.
Yes, sir.
Winners hang with winners. And these are the people that you have to incorporate in your life that will remind you on a daily basis. And you also can remind others of the blessings that you have in your life, and to get off that negative energy train. Because sometimes we need it. That's why I got Amir. I got you in my life. T, I got you in my life. If something's going on or something's I'm going through something, I could call up, chop it up, and you guys, through your experience, strength, and hope, can put me back on that right path instead of me going through that, like you said, T, that programmed negative train. Because we all been there. And these are the type of people that you have to have in your life. That's why that's where those blessings come from. To have people in your life that can help you when you go into that negative train, but also know that through your experience, strength, and hope in your life, that you can recognize quickly when you go into that negative zone. And that's what this is all about.
Yeah.
I like that you said that because, and you're right. You know, we reach out to each other on a daily basis, all three of us, and we bounce shit off each other all the time. And I think that, you know what, when I look at other motherfuckers, like not people that kind of so much close to us, but in general, when I look at men and I talk to men, it's clear men, for the most part, have a problem sharing.
Yes.
And reaching out and sharing. And what's weird to me is, again, I think this is conditioning from being raised a certain way as men in the Black community.
Yes.
We will share with a significant woman in our life, not a relationship, but like your grandma,
Somebody who's
one of your sisters, your auntie, whatever, a cousin. But we have a problem sharing man to man.
Yeah.
I think we've gotten so caught up in what may or may not make us look weaker that I'm not going to go to my fellow brother and say what happened because I feel embarrassed by this shit. I want them thinking I'm soft or judge me or blah blah blah. And I'm laughing. And I'm like, I never was that guy afraid to shit.
Yeah.
Like, I'm actually fucking, especially the older I get, I turn to fucking mush burger. So it's like, dude, I was at the third repass, dude. I'm at the bar because I didn't know it was gonna be a third repass. Fucking 20 family members come in. Bar was supposed to close. They like, T, whatever you need, how you need. We sitting there sipping, and as everybody got into their comfort zones and was talking and mellowing out with each other, it was time to sit back, and it was almost invisible in there. And I was just like, bubble up and be tearing, and she looking at him like I told you, families it goes both ways. It cuts like two blades to me. So I'm sitting there and I'm just feeling good because it's just not only is it family, it's a part of the family. Like before these last two losses, there was a disconnect with us. We both knew we were here, and we know I'm unrecognizable. So for us to be sharing these hours right now, and in the same place, we're grieving together to the point where you can grieve so much you laughing. You know what I mean? And but men in general, getting a nigga to share.
Yeah.
You know the funny thing about me is I'm not a prior. No pun intended, Rich Pryor. I'm not a prior, meaning like I don't never go looking for shit.
Yeah.
I'm a great listener, and I love stories and all that shit, right? But I don't go. I don't think I've ever went up to a man and go, yo, something wrong with you. Something bothering you, nigga. Tell me what it is. Don't be like that. Come on, get it. Right. I've never been that guy. Like I'm the guy. Like if you know me, I'm sitting there. Yo, T, you got a minute? Yeah, no problem. And you could go into some deep shit, nigga. And I'm respecting that. And I'm listening to that. And I'm like, whoa, shit. Like I've been in show mode in cities over the years where somebody just pull you aside and they go deep. And you like, man, you wasn't ready for it. You trying to get your mind ready to hit the stage or get whatever. And that deep shit, you stuck now. Now that nigga got you on human level 101. Now you got to deal with it. You know, you can't run nowhere. You ain't. But men have a problem with sharing up with other men. Now, I think every man in here, again, back to the way we were raised, most of us in the black community, our mom is that thing. Yeah. So if you got mom, you're going to go share with mom, whatever that deep shit is you're feeling.
Yeah.
Because she's the only one, the way you was raised, she's the only one you can allow to see you weak. And you're not weak. You think you are.
Yeah.
You think because you can tell some shit, you're weak. You know what I'm saying? You got to get out of that, man.
You know what's so crazy? I think to your point, and I think this goes or feeds into ego. You know, this weekend alone, I was privy to, you know, like you said, just catch up, even with, you know, one of my men. And he casually mentioned something in passing as we were standing there talking that I never even knew. And we boys, like, you know, we stayed at each other's house and, you know, and all that kind of stuff. But when he said it, I didn't say anything about it. I'm like you, T. I was just listening. I was like, wow, he never shared that with me. Now, I wasn't mad, but in my heart of all hearts, it just made me think to myself, like you're saying, sometimes people are so afraid, and men in particular are so afraid to be vulnerable because for whatever reason, we tend to believe that if you share with somebody a specific incident or a specific moment where you may or may not be in your blessings, that for some reason it makes you weak or it makes you some kind of simp or sucker or whatever, you know, terminology is being used these days. And I find that to be funny because usually what I've found in my 54 years on the planet is if I came to Shauna, if I come to you and I say, hey, y'all say, Amir, look, we're going to do A, B, C, and D tonight. And I say, hey, fellas, all jokes aside, my resources really aren't there. So I'm a pass or whatever. And then either one of y'all or both of y'all say, yo, don't worry about that, man. Just come on out. We want you to be in the fold or to be a part of it. That's way different than trying to get around it in a way that makes it seem like I don't really want to hang out with y'all. So now I'm, you know, hemming and hawing and, you know, trying to come up with all this felonious stuff as opposed to just getting to what the situation is and going, hey, this is really what the situation is. And I'm, you know, sorry that in this moment, I can't be a part of it. And I think that if we gave each other that grace, because you're absolutely right, Tom, if we gave each other that grace, so much of what we find ourselves having to deal with supposedly or seemingly on a lonely basis wouldn't be so lonely, because more times than not, your friends and your boys especially have been there maybe numerous times and they're like, bruh, I know what you're going through, man. So I'm not here to make you feel weird or feel funny about any of that, dog. Let's see how we can figure this out, put our heads together and get you out of that zone. So I think that you're absolutely right. That's something that we really should and need to work on as men, because I find too often it's, you know, that's a lonely place to be. This is why we end up hearing, you know, people committing suicide and, you know, odd things like that, because they really didn't have an opportunity to let loose or to have an outlet to share what they're really going through.
We say all this, right? But we the main dudes. Yeah, ride or die. That's my name.
Yeah.
Like my nick over my dead body and ride or die. That's my BMI, man. We talk all that shit, and
Yeah.
we can't tell the nigga you got
Yeah.
acne in your ass.
Yeah. You know,
You can't tell the nigga, yo, my ass be itching, man. You know, I got acne, man. I don't know how I got it, but
yeah.
shit. But this your ride or die. I think we full of shitters man sometimes. And when you got, here's the thing, you my guys, bro. And if we want to hang together, and whether it's Sean's project and me and you want to go, my project and you and him want to go, your project and me and him want to go, a couple of dollars ain't gonna never stop my niggas from being where they want to be in our presence. We can help. You know, oh, I can't, like you mentioned, you know, my resource, whatever. No problem. Like, bro, this is whatever. We gotta go. We rolling. Let's go. I got you. I respect that more than that lousy nigga that get out there with you like he got it. And motherfucker, you're alive. That Mount BAD, shout out to that lousy motherfucker. Grown nigga was the type of nigga you go to the movies. Right? Everybody be like, yo, why did you shit come out? We going 8 o'clock. All right, boom. 6 motherfuckers piling the goddamn cars and shit on G. Get to the movies, he's online. As soon as you step up to that lady, how many tickets you want? And they whisper in my ear, you get me, man. I'll get you next week. Motherfucker.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting this. Now you cutting into my popcorn money, my motherfucking gummy bear money, my Twizzler money, my soda. Now I gotta get a small.
Right. You know what? Men, yo, my guy, 100. Yo, I'm here for you. Yo,
Right.
men don't even understand, like, because I'm one of those, y'all know, like, if I'm going through something, I'm going to pull over my guys and I'm going to talk about it. That's me. That's who I am. But the thing is, men, and we need to have this conversation. I want to reach out to the men that are listening. It's okay if you have a vulnerable moment to share it, because it's a newfound freedom that you wouldn't even understand it if you didn't allow yourself to share with another man what you're going through. You'll be pleasantly surprised when you pull over the homie and you chop it up on a sincere conversation. It's not necessarily that your man might give you some feedback at the moment, or their opinion, or maybe their experience about what you're going through, but you deprive yourself as a man to, when you don't share what you're going through with another man. You're in bondage now, because you're sitting there in that isolation box. It's like a hockey player. When they out there, they playing hockey and they get into a fight, they put the dude in the penalty box. You're putting yourself in a 5-minute penalty box for no reason, because you feel vulnerable about what you're going through. I like what you said, Talon, about the acme in the ass. That's dope. Let's pause that. But it's so true. I'm one. Let me tell you something. If I'm going through something, I'm going to share it. I'm going to share with men, just like I share with the women. But fellas, it's okay to feel vulnerable at the moment and share with another man.
Sean, you gotta talk to them like they talk to people today in this sensitive ass society. You gotta say, you know, this is a safe place. Come inside. This is a safe place. Let me tell you something. This is why lesbians are better than us. You know why? Lesbians are the real ride or dies. Somewhere, sometime, somehow, there was a girl complaining to her friend about her pussy not getting ate right. And you know what that friend said? Give me that pussy, girl. Let me show you something. And they've been happily ever after ever since. The end. Good couple. True ride or dies. I told a girl last night, shout out for her birthday, but she's a table full of girls. I said, you get some tonight? I said, it's all a table full of girls. I said, come on, y'all. Y'all known each other 30 years. One of y'all was for her birthday. That shit was hilarious last night. Anyway, but no, seriously, like, guys, like I said, we tell each other the dumb shit. How come somebody riddle me this? How could it be easy for you to tell them that you got you in a double homicide? You need $500,000 for bail. It's easy to call the nigga. Tell the nigga, I'm in love.
Right, yeah.
It's easier. Think about this. It's easier for you to call your homie. Hey, my nigga, I killed a nigga. I need a place to stay. You
Yeah.
can level with that, but you can't
Yeah.
call a nigga and say, I love him.
And yo, T, I was there last night at that Stress Factory, just to go back to that, with the young ladies at the table when you hit them with the.
That was hilarious.
That was funny. But you're right. When it's these critical moments, now you're ready to chop it up.
Right.
They don't put you over.
It's a waste of time, bro. Okay, let's segue into the next thing. We got about 15 minutes of show left. And this is important, just as important as everything we've been talking about. Welcome back. You tuned in late. It's Motivation Monday. Sean Harvey, Amir Silly, your boy Talon Harris. The three of us make up Motivation Monday. Okay, so I treated my assistant, Ricky D, shout out to Ricky D, to lunch. It was a great weekend. Whenever things go good, like again, we count our blessings. We celebrate things are going good. And I said, you know what? Lunch today. Let's do it. So we go to lunch, and when we in the car, this is our second time. We ate at this particular place Thursday last week. Then we ate today. I got the same thing, shit delicious. They got this, some Cajun salmon strawberry salad. Shit's crazy. So the young lady who served us Thursday is the same lady Monday. So we're noticing that this lady's pretty fucking cool, bro. She's obviously a young lady, you know, a pretty girl. But two things that fucked me up. One, this was Thursday. You know how many customers going in and out? This is a big fucking place in our town, right?
Right.
This is Thursday, bro. So I go in there, I look at the menu, I go, yes, I already know what I want. I'm gonna get the same thing I had. The chick riddled back to me my order from Thursday. Oh yeah, you had the Cajun salmon thing with the, and then she goes, you had the coconut shrimp on the appetizer, and then and when she messed up on the third thing, right? She said, and I said, yeah, let me get the guac dip with the chips, the guacamole. No, didn't you have the spinach dip? I said, no, I would guac. She went like this. She went, oh yeah, the dude next to you had this. I said, God damn. I said, all that shit. First of all, we knew the dude sitting next to us, but he wasn't with us. But for you to, okay, I made a slight mistake. That was the guy next to you. He had to. I was like, yeah. I was like, yo, you good. I said, so when we get in the car, we're leaving. That's the conversation in the car going home. Me and Rick. He's like, yo, you know what, man? I like that girl. She's very good. Her customer service, you know, her presence and everything is like really attentive and good. And like, dude, she's on top of it, man. Like, we don't sit here looking for if we want another beer or, you know, want to clean these plates or whatever. She's on top of it. And it made me think back. I'm gonna use your terminology again, Sean, with the, your self-inventory. Self-inventory of your attitude.
Yeah.
You're not getting things done. People don't want to fuck with you a little bit. You're losing clientele. People are standoffish. You know, they go to you work at a company. They do after work drinks, but nobody's ever asked you to come have an after work drink with them. Maybe it's your attitude. Maybe people need to do self-inventory and a self-check of your attitude. How is your attitude? And now, I understand people like to be different people, right? Like the motherfucker at the job ain't the motherfucker when they hit the block. And the motherfucker hit the block ain't the motherfucker when they go in the house. And the nigga in the house ain't the same when you wake up the kids. So I understand the dynamics of that. But all those different people that you happen to be, how is your attitude? Yeah. Do your kids not even want to be around? I've seen that. I've seen motherfucking kids can't take the attitude like, man, just drop me off or stay out and pick up extra programs so they ain't got to rush home. Because you know that's what they say rush hour is. Ain't nothing but disgruntled motherfucking husbands and wives slowing up the highway because they don't want to go home. They want to take 2 hours to get the fucking house. But how's your attitude? Like me, my attitude in general is great. However, me and you, Sean, we talked about this earlier, how it can fluctuate, of course, when I'm at work. Because the job we do, we make it seem so good and so fun. Just thank God that we're that good. But people will forget. At the end of the day, we're at our job.
Yeah.
People will forget. They'll that bitch get the party and laughing with you and shit. You're like, oh, I'm about to go up. Oh yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, so sometimes you may come to a show on Tuesday, and I got all the time on my hands, and laugh and joke, you throw some shots back on, boom, go do my thing. Then you may come see me Sunday, like the stress where I run the whole fucking show from the rooter to the tutor is a different dynamic for me. Like I'm really, really at work now, and you don't get the same amount of love. Yo, what the fuck, yo, no. When I clock out, we can jump back into that. Right now, I got a lot going on. You don't hear the sound fucked up. You don't see the light. You don't see. I'm waiting for 2 more comedians. They ain't here yet. Traffic, blah blah, or the kitchen, or all that. All that's under my umbrella. So at times, that's when I'm doing my own self inventory. I know for a fact that's a fluctuation of peaks and valleys of my attitude when I'm at work. What about you, man?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think that, people don't really take that whole ideology into play. And the thing about it is, not only is it always regulated to, like you said, just your job and things like that. Sometimes just through the throes of your day, whether it's a text message, whether it's an actual phone call or something, certain things you have to factor in certain things into what you're doing. So like you said, you might get a phone call where they say somebody who's close to you passed away. So now in the moment, you got to process that, get back to whatever business, acumen that you're doing, work through that. So it's a number of things that you have to slip in and out of in real time. And a lot of times people in general don't take that into consideration. I always tell people, stop being so upset when you say somebody didn't get back to you. Yo, they didn't call me right back. Like you said, they didn't respond. You don't know what they have on their plate. They're trying to get all the things off their plate. I always say this to a lot of people. I'm trying to get everything off my plate. So when I call you back, you have my full attention. Because you ever have somebody call you and you can't really give them your full attention because you got 16 other things really going on. So then they mad at you like, yo, you're not paying attention to me. I tried to wait until I got everything off my plate, but you seem to make this a priority. So I'm trying to help you in your crisis. You know what I mean? So it's a crazy thing, man,
T, when you was talking, I in the beginning of just this segment, I actually thought of Amir Staley because he always talks about this positive energy that's in the universe on a daily basis. And that was that energy that you and Rick had confronted with this young lady that was at the restaurant. See, and it resonates in your mind because now, like, the next time you go back there, you're gonna be looking for this bitch. Yeah. Because just those simple things that was so important to her that you didn't think that was important. It was an order. It was just whatever you was ordering. She remembered 90% of the order. That right there, like you said, that will put you in such a great mood. You give her extra $5 or whatever, or extra $10.
I gave her $20 tip.
Just because, look,
bro, it's like the Uber driver, bro. I take Ubers all the time for the last 4 years, right? Yeah. So when an Uber do some extra shit he ain't got to do, I fucks with that. Yeah. I don't tip the motherfuckers on the regular because my rides be costly anyway. So I'm like, I know the whole thing with the Uber and they should get more percentage. That's between them. They filled out this application. I didn't do that, right? So my thing is this, though. I took one this morning in the wee hours. I'm at the fucking thing at 5, 6 in the morning. Dude come in front of the place, jumps out. This nigga, he sees my bag. I got the backpack in the back. Jumps out, grab this shit. Right. The thing, but I didn't have a chance to say, no, I got nothing. The way he jumped out, got put in there. All right, get in, Papa. Get in. Gets to the train station. Boom, boom. Same thing. I'm like, looking at dude, and I'm like, I got to tip this dude. Like, that's the part, the extra part. Your attitude is in the right place. You're like, you know what? I'm going to do everything I can. Remember when Uber first started, bro? Like the early days of Uber, like the first couple of years it got big, right? I always laugh at this shit. Man, niggas had a bucket of mints in the back, bottled water, every car charger you get. These niggas was killing the game. Yeah. Getting none of this shit in yellow tax. It was killing.
Yes.
Fast forward 2 years. You get back there, nigga barely speak to, hey, how's your day? Nigga just straight. I'll be like, I guess not.
Amir Silly, that happened to me. Amir, that happened to me 2 weeks, a week and a half ago when I was in Orlando. I'm Ubering all over the place because I don't even do the rental car thing no more. When I'm somewhere, I'm out of town, whatever, I'm 100% Uber. And I asked the dude because I wanted a coffee, and it was I said, man, there's a Dunkin' Donuts. I know you got to take me over to the hotel. He says, don't worry about it. He goes off. We go to the Dunkin' Donut. I get out. I say, yo, listen, you want anything? You good? No, I'm good. And we had this pleasant conversation, and I couldn't wait to go into my pockets and tip this dude because of the energy, because of that positive energy that we talk about. And it's amazing, and we've all been through what talent's been through, where we go to a restaurant, and if they don't remember the order, they were so pleasant to us, and they remembered us, that it takes what you just said, Amir, going to bed at night, setting that tone after, counting your blessings, and then having that energy for the next day. It all segues in together.
Yeah.
All
I agree.
segues in together.
I
See,
agree.
the next time you go to that restaurant, you're gonna bust down that door just to look for that chick.
And it leads to something else that T said, which is a bigger part of the attitude thing. This is a saying that we take for granted. It's not what you do, it's how you've made people feel. And a lot of people don't understand the power in that single statement. It's not what you did, it's how you made the people or made the person feel. Because in all fairness, to even what T described and what you described with the Uber driver, that's what compelled you to be like, oh my God, this person really wanted me to have a phenomenal experience. They didn't want me to just be in their restaurant. They didn't want me to just be in their car. They wanted me to have a great experience, because the experience is something that something you just said, Sean, will continuously play in your head like a movie. So then you're continuously trying to find that same energy, that same movie, so that you get that same feeling. And when you go to restaurants in particular and you find servers who are like that, it is probably one of the dopest things that you can imagine, because not only do sometimes they remember obviously your order, they was like, wait a minute, last time you was in here, you had a fedora on. You'd be like, you remember all of that? Like, wow. So it's
them the people you hope you could find on the news when you're looking for the killer. What did he look like? He was 6'2", he had a mole over his right eye.
Right.
He stuttered, and he wore Nike. You're like, this motherfucker, you seen all that shit? But here's the thing. It reminds me of, I'm watching a show right now called The Bear. I don't know if y'all watching The Bear on FX, but it's my man from Shameless, and he plays a chef, a young brother. His brother dies, leaves him in a restaurant, and he's trying to make it work. So now they found some money to go. This season 2, they're renovating the whole restaurant, right? So what he did is he sent all the workers, chefs in there, to these different things so they can learn different etiquettes of different things. So by the time the renovation's done, they come back, everybody's in a different headspace, right? So his cousin goes to the work in the #1 restaurant in the world in Chicago. And he thought he sent them there to fuck with him. But he sent them there to show him how precise and detailed, you know what I mean, shit is to run a top operation. And one of the things that stood out towards the end before he finished his time there, the owner of the restaurant had a meeting with the whole staff, and he's in there like, now mind you, this one of them joints get a long waiting list. You gotta get an event. So they read their emails. There's a couple coming out that particular night, and he's telling everybody, Louise and Robert are coming out tonight. He's like, yo, we don't want to charge them nothing. They said in the email they saved up to come to this restaurant. They said we saved up to come. And so the fact that we're gonna let them in, we're gonna treat them like king and queen, and at the end, nobody drops a check. Let them know that their bill has been comped on the house. He said, we're not just gonna serve them and tantalize them. He said, we're gonna blow their fucking mind.
Wow.
And sure enough, at the end of the night, they go to pay, and he's like, come to the house and blah, blah, blah. These people were fucking floored.
Wow.
Your attitude, your customer service. Yeah. And I don't even want to say customer service because sometimes it's not a case of a customer. It's just a case for person to person, mano a mano, and how you treat that exchange and
Yes.
person. You ain't even gotta like the person. You look at, and I like work, nigga. We don't like a lot of people, but we got to shake their hand too. We got to get them the picture too. They want to buy a shirt too. They want to come buy a ticket too. We're not banning them. You're not barred. You live a little different than me, and that's about it. But guess what? You're gonna get the same good, funky attitude like we good money until you give me a reason to give you a different attitude. Right.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, where did the time go? That was our super producer that popped on the screen. I guess he was saying, get the fuck out of here. This is the good man, Sean Harvey. This is my partner, Crown Amir Stilly. I've been your boy, Talon Harris. I hope we motivated one, at least. It's been a motivation Monday, and it's good to be back.
That's right.
Yes.
Everybody,
Yes.
peace out there. We love you. Ain't nothing you can do about it. Peace.
It's Monday, cocksuckers, and you better come prepared because they don't fuck around on Monday. Monday, most people come in. I had such a great weekend. Oh my God, go fuck yourself. That was then. This is now, bitch. It's a whole new set of rules. It's Monday, and you ain't waking up with